How few. Very shortly now, the prophets of doom and the harbingers of destruction will be wailing about our ears. The end of the world is nigh, will be the least of our troubles. For one of those natural phenomena that brings the loonies out of the woodwork is about to come up over the horizon. Halley's Comet. So let's find out what to expect from Heather Couper. It used to be Halley's Comet.
Oh, you're showing
your age. And now it's
your
Halley's Comet.
No.
No.
You're showing your age. Back in 1955, can you remember back then? There was
No.
You're
just
joking.
a little before my time.
Oh, there was a pop group called Bill Haley and the Comets, spelt with
there really?
one L.
Bill
yes,
Haley.
that was the year before you were born.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, indeed.
That's right.
I remember the old granny telling me about it.
Oh, that bouncing up and down on your knee.
She dandled me on her knee, yeah.
Fine, right. Well, that was Bill Haley and the Comets.
Yes.
Now, the gentleman in question spells his name Halley, and some people say he pronounces his name, or pronounced his name, Hawley. And so there is a Hawley's Society. And I have a little badge around my neck, which is very difficult to see.
By the cringe, so you have.
There it is.
Look at that.
And that commemorates the fact that there was a gentleman called Hawley back in about 1700
Who
or so.
identified the comet.
That's right, but in fact most people pronounce it Halley, so we'll forget about that altogether.
Well, it's as well to know something about it, because it's going to make a bit of an impact when it's coming, isn't it?
I hope it doesn't make an impact on the Earth. I sincerely don't. It's going to come past us, yeah.
It's going to miss us by several million miles, though, isn't it? Reassure me.
About 60 million miles. It'll whisk past your ear. It's going to be the worst time to see it for about 2,000 years.
Is it really? So we're not going to see it at all? I mean, it's going to be covered by by Michael Fisher's mist.
In fact, Scotch mist or something like that. Not just Scotch mist, but all other things as well. In fact, I've been drinking Hawley's Comet champagne most of the day because, in fact, a year from now, this little space probe, a British space probe made by British Aerospace in Bristol.
It looks very small for probing space.
You're very big, Terry. That's what you have to remember that. That's a 20th scale model. Yeah. That's going to hit the heart of Halley's Comet and tell us what it's made of. And on March the 13th, 1986, that's actually going to find out for us what it really is. We've got a year to wait. We've been celebrating a year in advance
It's going to take some accuracy, isn't it, to get it to hit the comet, which is travelling how fast?
It's travelling at about 50,000 miles per hour. So this thing's going to come straight on the nose and hit it. And it'll get within 500 miles of the centre of the comet. So the great thing is the Japanese are going there too, the Russians are going there. The Russians will get there first, and they'll tell us exactly where to aim. So they'll show us the bullseye. In we go.
Where's the best place to see it when it does come? When's it coming? December is when it first appears over the horizon?
You'll see it first in the sky with a pair of good binoculars around about November time. And that's why we're celebrating National Astronomy Week in that particular time. But by December, you'll see it, hopefully with the unaided eye, from a hilltop miles outside London, with perfect skies, with no cloud, with a lot of faith and a lot of speculation. So, but you will see it a lot better after it's gone round the sun, and then you'll be able to get a good view of it from down in South Africa or Australia.
Whenever it's come in the past, of course, it's brought with it all sorts of, as I say, harbingers of doom. People have always assumed that it was a sign from heaven. I mean, even on the Bayeux Tapestry, there's the Halley's Comet, isn't there?
That's right, with old Harold going to get it on the head. Oh, it'll be no different this time. It'll be even better. You'll have computerized forecasts of what's going to happen to you when it hits us this time. Back in 1910, when it last came round, it did come close to us. And the Earth actually passed through the tail of Halley's Comet, which is just basically a load of gases boiling off the head of the comet itself. And because scientists found one little tiny fraction of cyanide in the tail, people boarded up their windows because they were frightened of being poisoned. But that wasn't nearly as good as in Chicago, when they thought what they had to do to appease this awful god of the comet was to sacrifice a virgin. And they had this poor virgin.
In Chicago?
In Chicago. Well, this was 1910, remember? So we'll see what happens this time. Yeah. Terry, how well do you know the sky? Can you tell one star from another?
Well, to be honest, I'm very bad. I mean, when people tell me, even on a clear, very clear night, people say things to me like, oh, look, there's the Great Bear. Oh, over there, look. And I can't see anything that resembles a great little bear of any kind. I mean, I can't see those patterns in the sky. I mean,
never fear.
Are you sure you're not making them up?
I'm not making them up. In fact, I can prove it. We have a star for you. We have a Wogan's twinkling star.
Oh,
a scroll.
How very unexpected. Well, it is, actually.
He's been suspecting this all week. The International Star Registry have actually dedicated a star In Boötes. You ever heard of Boötes?
No, I have to say that
It doesn't
one of those things
ring
that
bells.
got by me.
It's right. Now you know, Boötes means the bear driver. He's a gentleman who drove the bears all over the sky. I might actually add that this has got as much validity as buying real estate on the moon. The star you have been awarded, first of all, it's not even in your birth sign constellation. The International Star Registry have, apparently they said they were going to give you a star in Leo, which is your birth sign. This, of course, is astrology and has nothing to do with
How
what I'm
very well, I
into.
was just saying, you're straying into the realms of the kind of thing that makes Patrick Moore spit.
He does more than that, I can tell you, when you mention astrology.
Well, that's right. People are always calling him an astrologer.
I know.
Which is somebody who reads the stars. And an astronomer. Now, you're an astronomer.
That's right.
How did you start the same way that, say, Patrick did? Somebody bought him a telescope and he looked out from his little bedroom window and went on from there.
Good heavens, I can see something up there in the sky.
Yes,
That was more like Magnus Pike.
move my arms around. You'll be constrained in this studio.
That's true.
No, Pat, I saw a green shooting star, a green meteor, when I was about 6 years old. And the next day I told my parents, and they said, well, actually, dear, there's no such thing as a green shooting star. And hey presto, in all the papers, there it was, a green shooting star, seen over London. And I was absolutely hooked, and my parents encouraged me. It got me out of the house at night, so they could actually sit there happily and watch television. And their little daughter was down the end of the garden.
They never worried where you were at night.
They knew exactly where I'd gone to, yes. So that, yeah, I got hooked that way.
But you're the first woman to be the president of the British Astronomical.
That's right, association. Oh, that doesn't matter.
I know that's a show.
I'm the second youngest. That's the thing that matters. I'm just a bit narked that there was somebody back in 1924 who was 2 years younger than I am. But I mean, as you say, this really has nothing to do with astronomy. But I thought you'd like to know that the star that the International Star Registry have selected for you is about the most boring little star And I hate to say it, they said they'd find you one that was visible to the naked eye. Well, they gave the coordinates, and I looked it up in my trusty star atlas. Unless you have a whacking great pair of binoculars, you can't even see it. It's 140 light years away. It's a little yellow thing. If there's anything...
You could be describing Jimmy Young there. Little yellow star.
That's right. Oh, it's 3 times brighter than the sun, but nevertheless.
What's the general feeling, though, before we come to a close, what's the general feeling among the British Astronomical Association? Are they out there watching us? Is there anybody else out there? Do you feel there is?
I wish I could believe that. The thing is that our little world going around the sun is a very ordinary place. And in the last few months, astronomers have been finding that other stars do seem to have worlds surrounding them. And obviously, we couldn't live on a star. It's just too hot for us. And what happens, by the way, I know you were interviewing Arthur C. Clarke the other day. What happens to Jupiter in 2010? The audience can rest assured it can't happen. Jupiter will not. I can't really say because not everyone's seen it. Anyway, it won't happen. We can just live on a solid planet, a nice, cool world like our Earth. And it seems there are planets out there, and we've had the first definite evidence to be presented in the last few weeks.
Well, if you're wrong, we'll have Arthur C. Clarke back to say,
I wouldn't mind if I could have a role in his Odyssey 3. I'd be delighted.
Well, it's nice to see you, and thank you for joining us here on Wogan.
Thank you.
Thank you.